Hello, and thank you very much for watching part 2 of my study of Castle Hill and its missing castle. If you haven't already seen part 1, I strongly recommend that you watch that first, and I'll put a link in the description below to help you find it, and then this will actually make a lot more sense. To prepare for these videos, I like to study local maps, look at heritage lists, and also recently started looking at LiDAR images to see what they show up. Now, when studying the LiDAR images of Castle Hill, one particular thing stood out, and that's this distinctive circular feature. Now, I saw that from the ground when I visited last time, and I'll just show you a clip of that so you can see what I'm talking about. I do wonder if this is actually the point at which that tower actually stood. There's a sort of a round mound here, projects out a little bit. I wonder, could be. We'll have another look on the map. Now on LiDAR you can see that this feature looks man-made to me. It doesn't look natural. It looks too sort of regular really, and I wonder if this is where this tower once stood. If you recall, there are reports that a tower stood on the site up until around 1920, and there's supposed to be a postcard in existence somewhere that shows it. Now, as of yet, I've been unable to trace that or the exact location where it stood. There are supposedly no remains of it there today, but I wonder if this is it. Still haven't found that postcard, but keep my eyes open for it, because you never know when that might turn up, and I'll give you an update. Now, I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent for a moment, but it is all relevant, so please bear with me. Unfortunately, I can often get sidetracked when I'm looking at maps, LiDAR or historic records, but it often leads to interesting things. So, while studying the LiDAR images lately for this video, I saw the Iron Age fort on the top of Kinver Edge, on the northern edge of Kinver Edge, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. On LiDAR, as you can see, it's really distinctive. I talk about this in my first ever video, and also mention another lesser known settlement which is just outside the main fortifications. I'll put a link to that first ever video in the description below as well, in case that helps you. Now, unfortunately, very little, if anything, is actually known about this other settlement, and there is really very little to see, unfortunately, on the LiDAR image. I don't know if there's anybody better trained might be able to spot it, but anyway, something relevant to this will crop up later. Now, not so many people are aware that there's another Iron Age fort. This one's at the southern end of Kinver Edge at Drakelow, and it's on private land in a field that I think, I've got a feeling anyway, was known as Aylesbury. This one is a multi-valet Iron Age fort, which means its defences are sort of stepped, if you like. Now, unfortunately, centuries of agriculture has eroded this one away quite significantly, and it's very hard to see on the ground. However, it does stand out quite clearly on LiDAR. Now, we know that part of an Iron Age rotary quern, it's like a grindstone, has been found here, but also some Roman and prehistoric finds have been found. The Roman finds would suggest that the site was perhaps reused later by the Romans, but we can't know for sure. Now, two Iron Age forts so close together strikes me as quite odd, but that's not the end of it. In fact, to the east of these two, very, very close by, in Arley Wood, is another one. So just a stone's throw really from Castle Hill. That's if you can throw a stone a long way, of course. This other site shows up. It's another multi-valet Iron Age Hillfort. You can see that it has sort of stepped defences. In fact, it's incredibly clear on the LiDAR. But I don't think that very many people are aware of this one. I know some other interesting features in Arley Wood, which I'd like to discuss with you either later in this video or in a future video, but I certainly wasn't aware until I started researching for this video that there was indeed another Iron Age fort there. At the request of the Forestry Commission, it was investigated in the 1960s, I think it was, and they believe that it is Iron Age and could be as early as, say, 600 BC, but potentially was also later reused by the Romans as a sort of Roman camp, as some Roman pottery has been found next to it. Now, interesting for me, close by to this, just outside the defences basically, there is another contemporary enclosure, which they refer to as an extramural settlement. In other words, a settlement outside of the defences. Now that rings bells immediately with me regarding the Kinver Edge fort. So did that too have an extramural settlement? And is that the mystery settlement in the area opposite the warden's cottage? Perhaps we'll never know. I wonder why there are so many ancient settlements in this area. I mean, there's the 3 Iron Age forts within such a close distance to each other. Of those 3 hill forts, at least 2 of them show evidence of later Roman occupancy. In fact, the one on the top of Kinver Edge, on the northern end of Kinver Edge, maybe that too was later occupied by the Romans. We don't know. There's no evidence to suggest that. We just don't know. So apart from those 3, which could even be earlier, by the way, there could be evidence there of Bronze Age settlements. It's not unheard of for an old site to be reused again. And in fact, the Arley Wood camp has that other sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, like a multivalent feature just outside of it. I mean, could that be the remains of a Bronze Age settlement? Don't know, hard to say. But yeah, apart from those, we've got within just barely a few miles, there's a Bronze Age burial cairn. There's 4 more Roman forts, all within, well, I say forts, they're camps, I think they refer to them as, but all within such a small distance. I wonder what it was that enticed them here, and why we ended up with so many camps in just such a in such a small area. Anyway, there you go. In all honesty, the fort in Arley Wood, I'm sure that really has nothing to do with the naming of Castle Hill. It's pretty close by, but I doubt very much, because it probably wasn't even known of until relatively recently. Now, Arley Wood Camp, as it's listed as, shows up quite clearly on LiDAR, but I wonder if you can actually see any evidence of it on the ground. So I'm going to head off shortly and take a look, see what we can find. Well, by the magic of video, I'm now in the middle of Arley Wood. I think, let me turn you around. I think I need to strike off somewhere in this direction. There's 2 alternatives. Look at that sunlight going through there. Whoa, lovely. I think I need to strike off in this direction, or maybe follow that clearing down first. There's a clearing over here. Maybe follow that down and over that way. I've got a feeling that this is the right spot anyway, so let's continue. Now I've got a feeling I need to be heading over that way, so let's see what we can find in this direction. Oh, looks like a sort of path here. Well, I think I may have found it. Take a look at that. This is roughly the right spot, I would say, on the map. Oh, it's very eerie in here today. Right, I need to try and cross this little stream here, and hopefully do it without falling flat on my face. Well, I've crossed over that little stream and the first of the defences. You can see there's another rampart here, look. We'll have a wander up there and see what's to be seen. Well, I must admit I've been studying maps and LiDAR and all sorts, so I didn't think I'd find it this easily, but this certainly looks to be it. Going to continue on a bit further over, but here we go, Arley Wood Camp. Not terribly exciting really, I suppose, to look at, but you know, hey ho. So there you are, that's the other side. I don't know if it shows up very well on the camera, to be honest with you. Just pan around. For want of a better term, this would be the southern side, I suppose. I'll go and have a look from the other angle, just bear with. So there you are, this is the looking from the other side. You can see the sort of double hill, double mound. Allegedly Iron Age, so I think they reckoned it was probably something like 300 to 600 BC, something like that. So there we are, this is the corner. Now this is probably, trying to work this out, I think this would be the southeast corner essentially. And you can see it's actually on quite a steep high bank down to the river below. And there also should be a corner, there should be two rivers meeting here. I wonder if this was an original access route heading off down this way, or whether it's just modern. Don't know. So this then would be the southwest corner. Hope you can make it out on camera. Looks fairly clear while you're actually standing here looking at it. Could be like nearly 3,000 years old, this thing. Mind you, could even be older than that, I suppose. Amazing. I wonder if this was one of the original access points in. Unless you're an archaeologist, I guess you wouldn't know for sure. Looks like it. It sort of doesn't look like it's been done recently. Maybe it isn't. There's a sort of almost like a causeway heading off in that direction there. So that's the way I'm going to go next. So by my reckoning then, this would be the northeast corner, just here. I hope so anyway, because otherwise I'm losing my bearings and I'm going to struggle to get back to the main path. But there you go. I just missed a muntjac running off, unfortunately. Never mind. And I think, looking at conditions here, might be a good idea to start heading home because it's getting pretty dark. So There you go, Arley Wood camp. I didn't think I'd find it this quickly and easily, but I have. And I think I've also just found an easier way to get out of here now as well, which is even better. So let's head back to the main trail. Well, there we go. Just heading back out. I found a much easier route out by the looks of it, so that's a big help. I don't think there's much chance of spotting the extra mural settlement as they refer to it on the listing. I think that's going to be pretty hard to see on the ground, but like many of my projects, I don't think this is the end. I intend to come back again at some point. I've also got something else in these woods that I'd really like to show you, and that's going to be a subject on another video by the looks of it. Not going to make it onto today's. So I'm going to head back. Starting to get dark already, really, and see if I can get a lift back home, and I'll hand you back to that guy sitting in a nice warm cosy conservatory. Well, hopefully one day the funding will be found to properly investigate one or more of these sites, and we'll finally get to know who actually built them, when they built them, why they built them, and so forth, which would be really nice rather than having to pretty much guess. So that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. I do appreciate it. The channel could really use your support, so if you're able to, please don't forget to leave me a like. There's a button down here, like a thumbs up button. Just click on that, leave me a like. But also even better would be to subscribe to the channel if you can. You should find a subscribe button down here. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe. You can also subscribe by clicking on this little chappy over here. And as I say, free to do, but it's really, really helpful to the channel. Also, if you want to comment, I'm really, really pleased to hear from you. If you want to comment, love to hear the comments. Even if you disagree with what I'm saying, that's fine, as long as you're polite about it. I'm not saying that I'm always right, certainly not the case. But I'd love your interactions and love to talk with you. So thank you very much again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Cheers for now.